session today, we're going to be giving you some information about course selection and academic planning, as well as just talking about the features of the Vic One program and how it fits into your first year schedule. And we'll leave some time to do a bit of a Q&A as well. And then at around 4 o'clock, we'll be putting you into smaller breakout rooms so you can have a chance to talk to your fellow Vic One students and to the Vic One mentors. To start things off, I'm going to hand things over to Professor Ira Wells, the Victoria College Academic Programs Director and one of our instructors in the Fry stream. So Professor Wells, please go ahead.
Thank you, Carol. It is a real pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. My name is Ira Wells, as Carol mentioned, and it is a real pleasure to offer you an early, extra warm welcome to the Vic One program. I know that this session is going to be very useful for you in terms of getting oriented to the program and telling you a bit more about what to expect. I really just wanted to take this chance to let you know how much all of your Vic One faculty members are looking forward to meeting you in the fall. Here in Toronto, as many of you will know, we are just now emerging from a long lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Students have been out of school for one of the longest stretches in North America. Here at the U of T, we taught all of our classes online last semester, which was certainly a first for us at Victoria College. And despite the fact that teaching and learning went quite well, we are absolutely raring to go for fall 2021. This is going to be a fall like no other, and I promise that your Vic One faculty members and the students in those classes are going to be even more enthusiastic than usual to get back to our beautiful campus, to return to our Vic One classrooms. And certainly from speaking to my fellow faculty members, I can tell you that there is a sense of excitement that is already palpable. People are just wishing the summer away. They want to get back to school. Now, as you know, we have 8 different streams in Vic One covering the whole spectrum of higher education, from mathematical and life sciences to literature, arts, philosophy, education, leadership, and economics. But regardless of which stream you join next year, you will find a supportive and inclusive community in which to start your first year. I often say that my favorite moment as a Vic One professor often happens before class even starts, before I even arrive. It's when I'm just sort of walking up outside the classroom door, and I can already hear that there's this kind of like buzz. There's this like energy that is already going on. As there's something about that. There's something that happens when you take like 20 or 25 like-minded, passionate learners and put them in the same room, and there's just this kind of energy that takes over as people dive in and explore their interests. So as you'll hear, we try to foster community between the streams so that we do have a series of weekly plenaries on broad subjects that will be of interest to all, as well as fireside chats and social events and other ways to try and bring the streams together and cultivate some of that larger sense of community. You'll hear a lot more about that in the session to come. So let me just end by telling you that you picked the best ever fall to start university, because we are so excited to get back at it, to welcome you to campus. And I am so looking forward to meeting you in September. So have a good session, have an amazing summer, and I will look forward to meeting you all soon. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Professor Wells, for that warm welcome. I think you're speaking for a lot of the staff as well as the faculty that we're really ready to get back to campus. So next we're going to be hearing from Sam Kang with some information about course selection and academic planning. Sam is an academic advisor here at Victoria College. And just as a note, if you have any questions during the presentations, please feel free to type them in the chat kind of as we go, and we'll have some time to take up those questions later in the session. So now, Sam, I'll hand things over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Carol. So it's really nice to see all of these lovely faces today. I can see some people are outside, some people are inside, but hopefully it's sunny wherever you are right now. As Carol mentioned, a lot of what I do involves helping you navigate through your undergraduate career. But another part of my role also involves having discussions around some of your postgraduate plans, right? And how you can kind of maximize your undergraduate career here at Victoria College to not only optimize your curiosity or delve deeper into some of your curiosities, but ways to actualize some of your goals, whether it's grad school, professional school, or going into industry. I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting to know everybody here in a little bit more detail as you go through. But for today's session, really the focus is on, what does your first year look like here at Vic? And especially, what does it look like as a Vic One student? So we're really going to go over some of your program and your degree requirements, the things that you need to keep in mind as you start applying to programs by the end of your first year. And as Carol mentioned, at any time, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to write something in the chat. And if there is one takeaway, if there's only one takeaway that I want you to learn from this session is you will have questions, whether it's now, whether it's after, or when you're actually starting your courses. And at any time, if you do, don't hesitate to reach out to us. After our session, a couple good follow-up next steps. Make sure to check out our academic advising resources on our co-reqs page. Right? Attend an academic advising Q&A session. And of course, you can chat with an academic advisor even right now as you prepare for your transition here at Vic. So with some of those housekeepings out of the way, let's delve deeper into some of the nitty-gritties and the things that you need to keep in mind. Right? So in order to complete your honors degree here at U of T and at Vic, you will need to satisfy all of your degree requirements. And so we'll see here in the first line there, you need to complete a total of 20 credits throughout your entire undergraduate career. Whether that takes you 4 years, 5 years, or 6 years to complete, that's entirely up to you. You just need to make sure that you need 20 credits. Of those 20, 13 of them have to be within the 200 level or above. And then of those 13, 6 of them need to be in the 300 plus. And so that allows you to not just take 100 level courses, but delve deeper into specific ideas and concepts and problems in various areas to build upon some of the courses that you take earlier on. Also, as a part of your degree requirements, you need to be enrolled in a specific combination of programs. And so here, in order to do an honors degree, you either need to be enrolled in 1 specialist, 2 majors, or 1 major and 2 minors. And of that, you must consist of 12.0 different credits, right? I'll put a pin on that and clarify that a little later throughout the session here, but effectively 1 specialist, a double major, or a major and double minor, those are the program combinations that you want to consider. If you're in commerce, then you'll just have to do a specialist in either management, finance, and economics, or accounting. Throughout your undergraduate career here, your CGPA has to be at least 1.85. And you also need to make sure that you're completing your breadth requirements. Right? And so most courses here at U of T will have a corresponding breadth requirement or a breadth category. And throughout your entire undergraduate career, you need to make sure that you're completing either 1.0 credits in 4 of the 5 categories below, or 1.0 in 3 of the 5.5 credit in the other 2. Again, I will delve further into this in subsequent slides. So if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, that's fine. Let's put a pin on it for now. So let's look at more specifically your first year course plan and what that looks like. So in your first year, you'll want to make sure that you include no more than 5.0 credits in total throughout the fall and winter semester. And of that 5.0, it is very important that you're prioritizing courses that are required for your program of interest. And why that's important is because at the end of your first year, you'll be applying to your programs, whether it's a specialist program, 2 majors, or your minors. And a lot of these programs will require certain 100 level prerequisite courses. And so you don't want to be in a situation where, you know, it's time to apply to a program and you have not met the prereq courses, and now you can't apply for that session, right? And so really trying to understand your program interest is really important, as well as the requirements. Of course, being part of Vic One, you'll also have to take your Vic One courses. And so that's 2 credits that span across your following winter semester. That's already embedded in your academic plan. So, you know, not too much to worry about there. Right? And if it is possible, if you find that there is space in your first year, it might be a good idea to explore new areas or complete some of your breadth requirements. And so if you find that some of the prerequisite courses for the programs that you're hoping to apply to have overlap, and you may have 1 full credit worth of electives that you can take in your first year, that could be a great opportunity to start chipping away at some of your breadth requirements, or just exploring courses that are outside of your program, or maybe within them. So exploring programs and required courses. I've sort of mentioned this before, but again, it's worth stressing that you'll be enrolling in programs at the end of your first year. And some of these programs will have enrollment requirements. And as I've alluded to, again, these are first year courses. Right now, these are first year courses that you have to take in order to be considered for admission into these specific programs. Also understand that most programs will have these first year courses as a part of the completion requirements. And the completion requirements and enrollment requirements are different. The enrollment requirements, of course, you need to take in order to get enrolled into the program. Completion requirements, as the name suggests, is once you're enrolled, the course that you need to take to complete it. And you'll find that there are a lot of overlap in most cases between the two, and that the enrollment requirement courses also count towards your completion requirements. So further to programs, you'll find as you navigate through, you know, all of the amazing programs here at U of T, effectively 2 main types of programs. We have open enrollment programs and limited enrollment programs. As the name suggests, open enrollment programs are courses that, as long as you complete 4.0 credits by the end of the semester, if you apply to that program, you will automatically be admitted into that program. And so examples of that include like a mathematics major or a philosophy major. Okay? So that's great. No prereq courses, but even if there aren't any prereq courses, if you're interested in, let's say, you know, taking a philosophy major, it might be a good idea to take the 100 level philosophy program required course. And then we have limited enrollment programs. And, you know, to make things a little bit more complicated, within the limited enrollment programs, there are sort of 3 types of limited enrollment programs. We've got ones with minimum grades, like political science, where you have to take a certain set of courses, but not only that, there's a minimum grade that you need to achieve. But as long as you hit that minimum grade for those enrollment required courses, you will be guaranteed admission. Right? So if political science requires a 65 in Paul 101, as long as you have at least 65, you'll be admitted. Then we have limited enrollment programs with variable minimum grades. Right? And with these programs, effectively what it means is, let's say like neuroscience has 500 spots open that year for students. They'll take the top 500 students based off the prerequisite courses and the grades. So even if the minimum grade is 65%, depending on the competition that year, you may want to actually strive a little higher than 65%. And so limited enrollment with variable minimum grade means, you know, there is a grade attached, but there's no guarantee that you'll be admitted into that program if you meet that grade. And so ideally, you want to punch a little higher. And then we have some programs that also require supplemental application components, right? Examples include computer science or international relations, where you might have to write a personal essay, right? Maybe you have to answer some questions to various prompts, right? In addition to meeting the grades and the prerequisite courses. Right? And so a really great resource to determine, you know, which programs are open and limited enrollment is through the academic calendar, right? And so I could just quickly post that here in the chat if you're interested. And then on that calendar, you'll find on the left program search, right? And there you can see all of the wonderful programs and all of the enrollment and completion requirements, as well as whether they are open or limited enrollment programs. So what does that mean for you right now? Well, I'd say your next steps is, you know, as I mentioned, go to the calendar, make note of some of the programs that you are interested in right now, whether they're the major levels, the specialists, or the minor. And then, you know, further to that, ask yourself, are there any enrollment requirements for these programs? If there are, what are they? And then use that to inform some of the courses that you'll be taking in your first year. Same idea, are there any first year completion requirements, right? Maybe there aren't any enrollment requirements for philosophy major because it's an open enrollment, but can you still take courses at the 100 level to work towards that major? Right? And also you'll find that some of these programs have very broad enrollment requirements. And so you can also find overlap between the two. For example, right, ethics, society, and law requires a certain amount of credits in any course within, I believe, breadth requirement 2 or 3. Right? And so taking a poli-sci course can not only count towards a poli-sci major, but could also count towards your admission into ethics, society, and law. So you'll find that there are a lot of overlap for these prerequisite courses. Any questions about this? You can always check the advising toolkit, which I can post a link later on. And of course, you can come talk to an advisor. So then the common question that we get, especially with Vic One students, is, what if your program of interest don't overlap with your Vic One courses? Right? Because, by very nature of being part of the Vic One, you'll have 2.0 credits that you have to take, in your small classes. And so what happens if, those classes that you're taking through Vic One don't count towards some of your programs? Well, the first thing is to confirm the number of credits that you need to enroll in your programs, right? A simple way to think about it is, in the worst case scenario where none of your Vic One courses count towards the program enrollment requirements, then effectively we minus 2.0 credits from the 5.0 credits that you'll be doing in that first year. So of the 3.0 that you have left, is that enough to take all of the prereq courses that you need? If it's not, connect with your Vic One program office to talk about potential exceptions or alternatives. And of course, if the message isn't clear at anything, come meet with your academic advisor. We can look at your plan in more detail, and we can give you some more specific advice and next steps based off your individual circumstances. All right, so the last kind of topic here, I've mentioned this at the beginning, it's the breadth requirement. And so, as I've mentioned, there are 5 breadth categories. Right? The first one is creative and cultural representation. Breadth requirement 2 is thoughts, belief, and behavior. 3 is society and its institutions. 4 is living things and their environment. And 5 is the physical and mathematical universe. And so, as I mentioned, every single course has, or most of the courses will have a corresponding breadth requirement. And in order to complete your breadth requirement, again, either 1.0 credits in 4 of the 5, or 1.0 credits in 3 of the 5, and a half a credit in the other 2. And to give you an idea of the types of courses that fall under each category, you'll typically find a lot of literature, languages, arts type courses affiliated with breadth requirement 1, right? Psychology, religion, and philosophy type courses will fall under breadth requirement 2. Breadth requirement 3 is social sciences. Breadth requirement 4 is life sciences. And then 5 is math, physics, and computer science. Again, all courses count if they have a category. That includes program courses, small class requirements, Vic One courses, as well as high school transfer credits. And really the big thing here is you do not need to complete your breadth requirement by the end of your first year. You have your entire 20.0 credits to complete them. So don't stress out if you weren't able to complete most of your breadth requirements. That's okay. You still have some time. And in fact, by being in the Vic One program, you're already kind of chipping away at a lot of these breadth requirements. So I've just included 4 examples here, right? If you're part of the chamber stream, right, more like the commerce, Vic 186, that's a full credit in breadth requirement 1. So you've already completed one of the 4. And then we have Vic 187 and 188, which are 2 half courses under breadth requirement 2. And so by essentially being in the chamber stream, you have already tackled 2.0 credits of the 4 required. And being in that stream, you're probably also taking Eco 101 and 102, which fall under breadth requirement 3. So already in your first year, just with these courses alone, we've already tackled 75% of our breadth requirements. So, as a part of your next step too, it could be a good idea to look at the individual courses that you have to take in some of your programs at the first year level and see what the corresponding breadth requirements are. You can find that in the academic calendar, and then just make note of that. And so kind of ending all of that off, I just have some dates and again, some helpful next steps to consider as you start looking forward to your first year here at Vic. So in the month of June and July, so I guess that's right now, make a list of courses that you want to take and use the advising resources. This is your time to start planning, right? Really understand the first year courses that you have to take, the number of credits that you have to allocate to certain program requirements. And if you have some flexibility, are there elective courses that you want to explore? All right, and then on July 5th, go to Acorn and you'll find your start time, right, for your course enrollment. And then being, incoming students, your course enrollment date will be July 22nd. So that's, make sure that you log in at your start time on Acorn to enroll in your courses. September 1st is the last day to make a minimum payment. And then classes begin Thursday, September 9th. Well, I think that's all that I really have for a session today. Again, I understand that there's a lot of information that we reviewed here. And it'd be great if you can, understand all of it, but I completely also understand if it's too much and, maybe some of this, was lost and that's okay. At any time, if there is, again, one message that I want to get across that's very clear, any academic related questions that you have, come reach out to your registrar's office, right? You can do so by emailing vic.registrar@utoronto.ca. So with that, I'll stop my sharing and I'll look at some of the questions here. Sorry, it looks like we have a few questions here. I'm just trying to find out the best place to start. Okay, well, it looks actually like a lot of these questions are resolved. So if you do have any other question, I encourage you to just write something in the chat.
So Sam, I'll just maybe ask some that weren't answered. Can you elaborate more on what a start time is?
Yes, and so in order to kind of effectively manage the high number of students who are enrolling in courses, each student will have a corresponding start time in which you can actually access your course enrollment, right? And so on July 5th, it's good because it gives you, on July 5th, you want to check exactly what your start time is, and you will not be able to enroll in courses prior to that start time. So if your start time is 9 a.m., then even if the July 22nd rolls around, you will not be able to enroll in courses until 9 a.m. Right? So it's really important, especially with a lot of the 100-level courses, with a lot of students applying, to really be attuned to those start times and make sure that you're logging on right when right on your start time so that you can enroll in all the courses that you're planning on taking.
Okay, another question. What do you have any recommendations if a student should do a specialist or a major and 2 minors or 2 majors?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I can't say one's better than the other because it's not. It really does depend on your own individual preferences, right? And of course, kind of being a transition out advisor may be helpful to also think about some of your postgraduate plans. But what I will say is, one's not better than the other. If you really are confident in one of your program choices and you really want to delve deeper into a specific discipline, then a specialist can be a great way for you to do that, right? And some of the advantages of a specialist is there might be some embedded opportunities for you to, engage in research opportunities and other exciting opportunities within that program. If you're unsure about what you want to do and you really want to cast your net wide and you want to explore different areas, that's where a major and a double minor makes a lot of sense. So that it gives you the structure to explore different areas. Or if you want to develop a deeper understanding of certain fields, then a double major could be a great option. Right? As far as, like if you're thinking about grad school, like let's say you want to go to med school or law school, no admissions committee is going to look at a candidate and value a specialist over a major or double minor versus double major. Right? So it really does boil down to how interested are you? How much do you want to delve into a certain topic? But of course, again, if you want to pursue, let's say, like a research-based master's/PhD, it might be helpful to at least have a major in that field in your undergrad.
And to follow up, does it matter if it's all in the humanities, or can I do something in humanities and life sciences?
Yep. So as long as you meet the prerequisite, you can definitely do, explore all the programs within arts and science. So just because you're admitted into the humanities stream doesn't mean you can't take any life science programs, but just make sure that you meet those prereqs. Is it better to do one over the other? Again, no, it depends on you and your individual goals and your sort of curiosity. If you let's say value a more interdisciplinary lens, going outside of your initial program could be a good idea, right? But if you feel confident, you really like the skills that you're employing in your areas, and you want to, apply that in transferable spaces, then maybe sticking within humanities or social science works as well, right? So like typically saying that is a very sort of complex conversation that really requires a lot of other things to keep in mind, right? Again, like let's say you want to go to law school. Is there a certain combination that matters more? If you want to go to med school and so on, right? So my answer in short is it really boils down to what you are interested in. One is not valued, more highly over the other, depending on the context.
For course enrollment, how difficult is it to get into classes on course enrollment day? Should students be making a backup plan?
My answer to that is I always think it's helpful to always have a contingency plan. Right? In your first year courses, right, as long as you are sticking to your start time, right? I'm hopeful that you would be able to enroll in your 100 level courses. The problem comes is, if we look to change the courses further down the road and there's an extensive wait list, and at that point, you do want to maybe consider some alternative plans. Also, an important thing to mention is the programs that you apply to by the end of your first year, you're not locked into those programs. Right? So you can still make changes afterwards in your second year and so on. So if you want to maybe turn your major into a minor, or if you want to apply to an entirely different program, or maybe you weren't able to enroll in the prereq courses to get into your program of interest by your end of the first year, well, you still have the summer and next year to also meet those requirements. So all of that is to say, it never hurts to have a contingency plan. Like I think parallel planning is very important in a lot of the things that you do. And if you don't get into some of your programs, or if you find that there are issues that you're facing with some of the prereq courses and course enrollment, come talk to us.
Let me know when you want me to stop asking you questions.
Yeah, I think that might be a good time for us to maybe transition it over. I don't want to take up the whole session, but I will also be here until the end of until the meet and greet if you do have any other questions. So if you do have any questions for me, feel free to write it in the chat or send me a private message, and I'll be happy to kind of respond to you individually.
And just as a reminder, there is a Q&A tomorrow with some academic advisors at 10, I think it's at 10 a.m. No, 9:15, sorry, 9:15 a.m. for Vic students. Carol?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, Valine, can you just make me a co-host? Because I should be able to share my screen. No problem at all. There's a lot going on. So I definitely saw that we had some questions in the chat that I will be getting into in more detail, just kind of going into exactly how Vic One fits into your first year schedule. But we'll also, again, we'll have kind of hopefully 5 or 10 minutes for some additional Q&A before we put you into your breakout rooms for the meet and greet. So I'm just going to try and share my screen. And does that look okay?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So thank you so much again to Sam for all of that great general information. As he said, we know it's a lot to take in, but we're going to try to kind of clarify things for you a little bit more now, just about how Vic One fits into your first year. And definitely, if you have any questions, please feel free to keep typing them in the chat as we go. I'm not at the multitasking level yet, where I can present and answer the questions at the same time. We'll take them up afterwards. So just as a quick overview of the topics that I'm going to be covering, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what exactly is Vic One and, what's the program all about? What is the Vic One environment like? Then I'm going to cover just a few important tips to keep in mind when you're planning your schedule for first year, followed by just some information about how Vic One factors into your U of T degree. And finally, I'm going to be going over the required courses for each stream of Vic One. So really our main question is, what is Vic One? And the Vic One program is an enriched and interdisciplinary opportunity for first year students. And this program really gives you a chance to experience the benefits of a small classroom setting right away in your first year of university. So as a Vic One student, you'll be taking your Vic One courses as a cohort with the same small group of students. So you have a built-in community starting right away. The small classes in Vic One are also a really great opportunity to connect directly with your professors, who are all really passionate about the program and the subjects that they teach, and they really care about teaching undergraduates, and they're dedicated to helping you succeed. As you probably already know, there are 8 streams in Vic One, and each stream has a central focus that it uses as a jumping off point to explore the interconnectivity between subjects and disciplines. So those streams are the Chambers stream, which looks at leadership, commerce, policy, and economics, the education stream for education and society, the Fry stream studying literature and the humanities, the Gooch stream, which looks at philosophy and ethical citizenship, the Jewison stream studies the creative arts and society, the Pearson stream looks at topics in history, politics, and social sciences. The shallow stream looks at the physical and mathematical sciences, and the Stogullen stream studies the life sciences. And your Vic One classes are seminar-style discussion-based classes, which means that, unlike some other classes that you probably will have in first year, that's mostly just, the professor kind of lecturing for the whole class. In your Vic One classes, your instructors are really going to encourage you to engage with the material that you're studying and challenge you to dig deeper into those topics. Vic One is really meant to complement the other classes that you're taking by teaching you to kind of look under the hood of the subjects that you're studying and encouraging you to ask questions and consider new perspectives on those central topics, but also on a variety of other disciplines. So just to get into some of the details about how Vic One will fit into your schedule, these are a few important things that we want you to keep in mind. So I saw some people in the chat asking about this. So yes, the Vic One office will enroll you in the courses for your Vic One stream by July 1st. So you will already have those courses in your schedule when you're doing your timetable planning in July. You do not have to worry about adding your Vic One courses when you're doing your course registration on July 22nd. We will be enrolling you in your Vic One courses for you. And that will already be done by the time you're registering for your other courses. However, what you will be responsible for doing is registering for the co-requisite courses for your specific stream, plus your other courses for first year. And Sam already talked a little bit about the co-requisite courses, and I'll be going over the individual requirements for each stream in more detail in a bit. But for now, just keep in mind that although you don't need to register for your Vic One courses, your VIC courses, you are responsible for registering for your co-requisite courses, plus the other courses that you're taking. Another thing to keep in mind when you are planning your timetable is that the Vic One plenary guest lectures take place on Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. And the plenary lectures are a really vital part of the Vic One experience, and you will be required to sign in and attend the lectures as part of the participation marks in your Vic One classes. So when you're planning your timetable for this year, make sure that you don't schedule anything that conflicts with the Vic One plenary. We will also add it to your timetable on Rosie, just to help you to make sure that you know to keep that time open. And we will also be having meet and greets after the plenary lectures. Those run from 5 to 6 p.m. So we really strongly recommend that you keep that time slot open as well for an opportunity to just spend time with your fellow Vic One students and with our guest speakers. And the third thing I want to draw your attention to is that Vic One students are ineligible for any other one program or the first year seminar courses like the Vic 100s or the first year foundation courses. And this is because we want to make sure that you're leaving enough room in your schedule to take courses that will count towards your intended programs. And we also just want to make sure that in terms of the first year opportunities for small classes, we want to make sure that as many students as possible are able to participate in these opportunities. And so for those of you who are Victoria College students, you have the Vic small class requirement, and Vic One does fulfill that requirement. So you don't have to worry about adding another class to meet that requirement. Vic One will take care of it. So this is just kind of giving you a little bit of information about how Vic One fits into your overall degree at U of T. And just the main thing I really want to clarify is that your Vic One courses are courses that count as credits towards your U of T degree. They're part of those 20 credits. They go on your transcript as U of T courses. They're included in your GPA. And as Sam was saying, they count towards your breadth requirements. And so just to cover again, you need to earn at least 20 credits to complete a degree at U of T. And we use that kind of phrase interchangeably, credits or full course equivalents or FCEs. And this chart just shows like a sample breakdown of those required 20 credits based on a template of 5 credits or FCEs per year for 4 years. And as Sam was saying, this is not the setup that everybody follows. Your plan could definitely end up looking a little different. It could take more than 4 years, and that's completely okay. But this is just a pretty common setup, so we're kind of using it as our template for now. So in the first year, your Vic One courses are worth 2 credits or 2 FCEs. And depending on the stream that you're in, your courses might be 2 full year courses, which run from September to April, or 4 half-year courses, which run from September to December or January to April. But either way, your Vic One courses will still total up to 2 FCEs overall. In addition to your Vic One requirement, you have your Vic One co-requisites. So this is a separate course outside of Vic One that's related to the material you'll be studying in your Vic One courses. And most of the time, a co-requisite course is really designed to be a course that you're probably going to be taking anyway. So if you're studying literature in the Fry stream, you're probably also considering an introductory English course. Or if you're in the Stowe-Gullen stream, you're probably also going to be likely planning to enroll in biology. If you have any transfer credits from example AP or IB courses, you can also be using those as transfer credits towards your co-requisite requirements. Those do fulfill those requirements. And I also saw that someone asked this earlier in the chat. And yes, if your co-requisite has options for a few different subject areas, like for example, it might say you have to do 1 credit from English, philosophy, and art history. You can do 1/2 credit from one area and 1/2 credit from another area. That's completely okay. If you are really concerned about fitting the co-requisite course into your schedule though, as Sam mentioned, please feel free to get in touch with me and we can go over your options. We can see if there's an alternative course that we can accept instead of the, kind of default specified co-requisites. We're always happy to explore your options with you. So you can email me at vic.one@utoronto.ca for any questions, and I'll also put that email up on the screen at the end of the session. And then just to, again, go over your remaining courses in your first year, these could be other courses for your intended programs, as Sam was mentioning, or they could be additional elective courses that you're taking to cover your other breadth requirements. So now we're just going to go into kind of looking at some more details about what the schedule will look like for each of the Vic One streams. So for the Chambers stream, this is a stream that's designed for students who are interested in commerce and management, but it also explores topics like economics, public policy, theories of leadership, and policy analysis. And the Chambers stream consists of 4 half-year courses. So there's Vic 186H, the Art and Literature of Leadership 1, Vic 187H, Prosperity, Justice, and Sustainability, Vic 188H, Corporate Citizenship, Sustainability, and Ethics, and Vic 189H, the Art and Literature of Leadership 2. And your co-requisite for the Chambers stream is 1 full credit in first year courses in economics. And if you're already a commerce student, this is part of your required courses for first year already. So the education stream is geared towards students who are interested in teaching or education-related professions. And this stream explores the philosophical, economic, historical, and sociocultural aspects of education and the profession of teaching. You'll take 2 full-year courses as part of the education stream, and they are Vic 150Y, School and Society, and Vic 151Y, Theories and Practices of Teaching. And your co-requisite for the education stream is Psych 100, which we recommend that you take in the 2nd term starting in January. And as part of the education stream, students also complete a practicum component where you work with a teacher in a Toronto school or a community organization, and you get direct experience in interacting with learners. So the Fry stream is designed for students who are interested in the humanities, and it covers a multidisciplinary investigation of literary, philosophical, and cultural influences throughout the subject and throughout major thinkers in these disciplines. So the Fry stream has 4 half courses, and these are Vic 162H, Cultural Forms and Their Meanings, Vic 163H, People and Ideas, Vic 164H, Literary and Artistic Realms of the Imagination, and Vic 165H, Isolation and Communion in Modern Culture. Now, the Fry stream is also split up into 2 sections. So if you're in the Fry stream, when you got your Vic One Academic Advising Handbook by email, it would say that you're either in the Fry Red stream or the Fry Yellow stream, group. So if you're in Fry Red, you'll be taking 162 and 165 in the fall term, and then 163 and 164 in the winter term. Whereas if you're in Fry Yellow, it will be reversed. So you'll take 163 and 164 in the fall term and 162 and 165 in the winter term. And for the Fry stream co-requisite, you need to take 1 full credit in either English, philosophy, or art history. So the Gooch stream is for students who are interested in philosophy and ethics. And this stream deals with questions of ethical citizenship and the age-old quest for truth, goodness, and justice. And the Gooch stream also has 4 half courses, and these are Vic 166H, Common Vices and Neglected Virtues, Intro to Ethics of Character, Vic 167H, Ideas and Fine Thoughts, Vic 168H, Identity and Equality in the Public Sphere, and Vic 169H, Ethical Living in a Pluralistic World. And your co-requisite for the Gooch stream is 1 full credit in either anthropology, philosophy, or religion. So the Jewison stream looks at the creative arts and society. So this stream looks at lots of different art forms like literature, poetry, music, the visual arts, cinema, and it kind of studies how those art forms have intersected with historical and social issues. And so there are 2 full-year courses in the Jewison stream, and those are Vic 190Y, the Arts and Society, and Vic 191Y,
I feel like I made the
Artistic Creation and Public
I
Issues.
think I made the wrong. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, someone's unmuted. Can you everyone just make sure they're unmuted? They are muting themselves. Thank you so much. So for the Jewison stream, you have a lot of different choices when it comes to your co-requisite. You need to take 1 full course in either architecture, cinema studies, drama, visual studies, music, or English. And so next we have the Pearson stream. And this is a stream for students who are interested in history, political science, and international relations. It studies current and historical events with a focus on sociocultural context and responsible citizenship. So the Pearson stream also has 4 half courses. So those are Vic 181H, World Affairs, Vic 183H, Shaping Memory, Vic 184H, History, Historiography, and Making Cultural Memory, and Vic 185H, Social Justice. So like the Fry stream, the Pearson stream is split into 2 groups. So if you're in the Pearson Blue group, you'll be taking 184 and 185 in the fall, and 181 and 183 in the winter. And if you're in Pearson Green, again, it's the other way around. You'll be taking 181 and 183 in the fall, and 184 and 185 in the winter. And the co-requisite for the Pearson stream is 1 full credit in either economics, history, or political science. So the shallow stream is for students who are interested in the sciences in general, but particularly in the mathematical and physical sciences. So this stream teaches fundamental analytical skills, and it also explores the role of science in society and the social responsibilities of scientists. And there are 2 full year courses in the shallow stream, and they are Vic 172Y, Physical Sciences Today, and Vic 173Y, the Philosophy of Science for Physical Scientists. And for your shallow co-requisite, you need to complete 1 full credit from first year science courses, and at least 1/2 credit of that must be a course in either chemistry, physics, or mathematics. And so last, but definitely not least, we have the Stow-Gullen stream. And this is, again, for students who are interested generally in the sciences, but particularly in the life sciences. So this stream is designed to prepare students to participate in the important debates of our time about the ethical, social, and political consequences of scientific advancement. And Stow-Gullen is also 2 full year courses, and they are Vic 170Y, The Impact of Science on Our Society, and Vic 171Y, Methodology, Theory, and Ethics in the Natural Sciences. And for your co-requisite, you need to complete 1 full credit from first year science courses, and that has to include at least 1/2 credit in biology. So I'm going to go back and take some look at the questions in the chat now, and maybe Sam and everybody else can help me go through that if we have ones that haven't been answered already. But yeah, I know that we gave you guys a lot of information to take in. So if you have other questions, even after everything has sunk in, we really encourage you to reach out to your college registrar for general questions about course enrollment and program selection. If you have any questions about Vic One or the co-requisites, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me at vic.one@utoronto.ca. We also really encourage you to check out the new student guide from the Faculty of Arts and Science. That link is on the screen as well. And again, if you're a Vic student, you have access to the co-reqs model that's all about kind of course enrollment and figuring all of those exciting new terms out. So we really encourage you to look at that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in the chat. Okay, so I see just quickly that people have questions about the co-reqs. Those are the most recent questions. There is the only difference between a co-requisite and a normal course. A co-requisite course is a normal course. Like, we're just kind of letting you know that as part of Vic One, if you're in, for example, the Fry stream, it will really enhance your understanding of the material, and it will really deepen your understanding of the subject. If in addition to your Vic One courses, you're also taking a course in English or philosophy or art history. So basically what we're just saying is we also want you to sign up for one of the regular courses offered by those departments as the co-requisite to your Vic One courses. In terms of the co-req, if you're wondering if you can take a co-req course that is not a part of the discipline mentioned, the short answer is it depends. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you have questions as you're looking at your course planning and you're looking at your specific timetable and figuring out which courses you need to take for your intended programs, if you have concerns that you're not going to be able to have room for the Vic One co-requisite, please email me at vic.one@utoronto.ca, because I'm always absolutely happy to discuss, is there another course that you're taking that could fulfill the co-requisite requirement? We try to be as flexible as we can, but it's definitely, we have to kind of look at everybody's, it's an individual kind of situation each time. So that's why I would just say, just email me and let me know kind of what the specific plans are that you're making, and we can look at it from there. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back in the chat. And yeah, so in terms of what the co-requisites are, all of the information that I went over as well about the courses you'll be taking and about the co-requisite courses, those are all in the Vic One Academic Advising Handbook, which went out by email. I believe it was last week. If you didn't get the handbook, then please feel free to email me and I'll try to get that sent to you right away. You do have to, we strongly prefer that you take your co-requisite in the fall winter term. So yeah, we do really recommend that, because the co-requisite is designed to complement what you're learning in Vic One, it makes the most sense for you to be taking it as part of your first year. So we really strongly prefer and recommend that you take it in the fall winter. I see a couple of questions about the practicum requirement for the education stream. The placement will be assigned for you. You don't have to search for the availability on your own. Education students, you will get an email, or you've already gotten an email about the basically reference check that you have to do for your practicum. But if you have any questions about that, you can email me, or you can email Professor Julia Forgy, and her email address is in the form that was sent out to you. I'm just seeing one question. So we cannot take other Vic One courses outside our stream to fulfill the breadth requirement. I mean, you can't take other Vic One courses outside of your stream. The Vic One courses are like stream specific course combinations. It's not possible to mix and match. You will be, that's part of why you'll be automatically enrolled in your Vic One courses by the Vic One office, because if you're in a specific stream, you are taking those specific set courses for Vic One. Switching streams, it will really depend on which stream you want to switch into. I would say, please just, again, send me an email and let me know what stream you're interested in switching into. Whether or not we can accommodate those requests will really depend on the space limitations at this point. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the chat to find. Yes, it is okay to take Psych 100 in the first semester if you're an education stream student. We just recommend you take Psych 100 in the second semester because students in the past have told us that they find it helpful to kind of, they have a term where they're getting used to the university environment, and then they kind of take Psych 100 in the next term. So in the Degree Explorer interface, it will tell you that you need to take all of your Vic One courses in the same term. That's basically just kind of a little glitch in the system, because the Vic One courses, because they have to be taken as a stream specific cohort, they are all listed as co-requisites for each other. So essentially Degree Explorer thinks that you have an issue if you're taking Vic 181 and Vic 183 in one term and Vic 184 and 185 in the next term. It's not actually an issue. It's just the Degree Explorer can't really distinguish between courses that are co-requisites because they're all in the same Vic One stream, and courses that are co-requisites because they need to be taken simultaneously. Oh, Valine, do you want to jump in? Somebody asked about the code for the Vic One session, if Valine's still here.
Yes, I am. Principal, but not like principal, like the principal of Victoria College.
Can you give them more information about where they enter that?
So just to clarify, it is for Vic students only. And you have to go on to co-reqs under getting ready for Vic, the course, under there's a module under Open Vic, and there's like a little quiz, doing air quotes, and you just enter it in there after all of the sessions are over.
Great, thank you. So I'm seeing there's some questions about course registration, just about when do you set up your schedule for the winter term? How do we tell if a course is a half course or a full course? I don't know, Sam, maybe you could answer a couple of those. Oh, I think Vivian already answered them as well, but yeah, if you can jump in too.
Yeah, just a quick thing. If you're looking to enroll in your fall and winter courses, they'll all be done on July 22nd. So there isn't a separate enrollment period for the winter courses. You're enrolling in all of your fall, winter / four-year courses July 22nd. And while I have everyone here, I'm just posting the link to the program toolkit as well as the academic arts and science calendar again, for those who are interested in exploring exactly all the different programs and the requirements that exist here at U of T.
Great. Oh, and I saw someone also asked about applying for transfer credits from IB or AP. I will try to find that link to put in the chat. Basically, your results from your IB or your AP courses, they have to be sent directly to the university. Usually that's an electronic process that your school can take care of. Once we receive those results, then we'll assess, like your transfer credits will be assessed by the Faculty of Arts and Science. Okay, so I think that it is currently, it's 4 o'clock, it's 4:01. So yeah, I'm just seeing, oh, Sam's already on the link, that's perfect. I don't think Vic One has a Quarkus course yet. There's a Quarkus module for Vic students. So I think, I don't know if Valine, you might have posted that link earlier. Would you mind posting it again in the chat if you can?
For the Quarkus module?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep, and the transfer credit information link that Sam posted, that also covers information for transfer credits for A-level and pre-U courses.